Thomas Gutermote, U.S. Army. I was a E6 or Staff Sergeant in the U.S. Army. I served active duty in Fort Hood, Texas, and Korea, and then I did a lot more years in reserves and National Guard up in New York. I chose to go in boot camp or in the Army because there wasn't much around. I was having kids young, so I went active duty because of that, raised my family, and it was a challenge. When you go to Korea, you can't have the, well, at least where we were, you couldn't go up on the DMZ, couldn't have family, so didn't get to see my daughter walk. Wow. If I would have stayed active, I probably went to Germany next or whatever. That would have been nice to see that. I ended up going years later to see my daughter because she was stationed over there, so that was cool. My oldest brother was in the Air Force, I was in the Army, and my youngest brother in the Marines. Seoul, Korea, I got to see my brother. He was in Japan at the time, so he come over, we visited for a little bit. That was nice. Got to meet a lot of different people from all over the country. Got to travel. I would have never went to Korea, you know, so it was nice. Remember the rice paddies, a lot of rain over there, cold. It was definitely different over there. So when the military, they, you know, give you housing or money to afford housing or whatever, the pay was all right. You know, we lived on it. I always tell everybody how lucky I was.
So my name is Tim Cutnaw. I was in the Air Force for 22 years as a Master Sergeant. First duty station is called No Hope Pope. It's Pope Air Force Base, North Carolina in Fayetteville. And they say that because once you get there, you have no hope of going anywhere else. You kind of get stuck there, and I did. I went all over the world from there, but I was there for 17 years. I started off as a crew chief on C-130s. They have 4 massive engines, and they're a big transport plane. As a crew chief, a lot of people don't understand what that is. You're kind of the head maintenance person on the plane. You get to fly with your airplane. That's your name on the side of it. I've had a few experiences throughout my career. I became a flight engineer on C-130s. We had to design hangars, and because they were bigger planes, and so they actually had me on a team looking at blueprints and designing those buildings from a crew chief's perspective, which was awesome because you had your thumbprint on something that was going to last. One of the big things I learned from the military, especially when you're teaching one-on-one, you learn that everybody's different and that some people get it instantly and they know it, and that's great. But other people really had a hard time grasping some of the concepts that they were having to know. And so you had to figure out a different way to kind of approach that. And now as a special education teacher, I apply that every day. It was well worth it, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.